Good afternoon, and welcome to excuse me, the new week. I think we're on week 8, which means we're almost halfway through, which is good because next week is spring break. Make sure you check the syllabus so that you will be on track doing what you're supposed to be doing. What is due? I don't believe I have anything due during spring break because I don't want you to worry about it. But there might be some stuff that comes available, and then the next week you'll have to work on that. You can work on it during spring break if you want, but you don't have to. I think that's the way I set it up. That's usually the way I try to do it. Anyway, welcome to this week, and I want you to introduce you to my new shirt. Notice that it's blue and white. It's not green and checked. So I thought I might try some stripes. I think it's pretty sharp. But anyway, it's good to see you. Well, I'm not seeing you. I'm seeing the Logitech camera. But I hope you're out there somewhere. At least if you're watching this, then you will get the shout out. So anyway, last week, what a great week it was. I really enjoyed your learning, your literature review, excuse me. I love those as an assignment. That is a wonderful opportunity to read what the real literature, what the real research is saying about child psychology. Remember that we take it as a three-way thing. We look at research, we look at what do the popular magazines say, and then we look at our own experiences. And somewhere in there, there's truth. Probably more truth in the research, but remember that all children are different. So anyway, what we were discussing last week was quite a question. I had you read that very, very interesting and challenging article. It's about teaching our children strictly black and white, right and wrong thinking. That doesn't refer to teaching your children what is right and what is wrong. Like it's always wrong to hit somebody and take their stuff. That's never right. But does everything have to be a right or wrong answer? I know that as a teacher, I'm always asking questions. Don't necessarily have an answer that's right or wrong. The point is really to think about it. And with children, in particularly, if you're really interested in child psychology, that's one thing that you're going to have to really focus on. It's not about knowing all the right answers. It's knowing what are the questions to ask so that I can get to know that child, so that I know how best to communicate with them, how to help them, and all that. So that's what that was about. I really appreciate your answers to that question. You all thought very deeply about that. I think maybe some of you really got the point a little bit better than others. But in any case, there's no right or wrong answer to it. It's just something to think about. I want to particularly just mention Courtney and Lena and Nancy and Christiana. You went above and beyond what the question asked. And I like reading the stories of your own experiences of the advantages and disadvantages of teaching along a black and white or right or wrong kind of framework. So this next week we're going to the next stage, which is cognitive development. So we're going to be highlighting especially the pre-operational stage. Remember, we're looking at children in the play years, 2 to 5 years old, and that kind of development. We're looking at a lot of development having to do with language. We're looking at a lot of development how we learn new words, and we learn how to classify those new words, and how we take those objects and we understand the rules for what is it that defines. We'll also start to understand or to look at this question about what is good for children 2 to 5 years old. Is it best that they are largely raised in preschools? Is it good that if they get an opportunity to be raised at home with a parent or parents or grandparents or whatever? And what are the differences? Are there differences? What do those differences make? And then also, we also want to think this is the period of time before children start school, so that's going to be really important. What is it as far as our upbringing that seems to contribute best to the outcomes that we'll find in school? So those are questions to ask yourself as you're doing the reading and as you're thinking about the questions and all this. Okay? And I just hope you have a wonderful week. It's good to be back with you, and I thought I would get an opportunity next week. I wish you the best, and I hope you have a wonderful spring break.